In this video, I'm going to explain what a hammer candle is in the stock market. On my screen here is a stock chart, and this is for Humana stock. And you'll see that there's all these price bars, and price bars are sometimes known as candles when it comes to stock market charts. And on this particular chart, each bar or price candle represents 1 day of price activity. And if you aren't already familiar with how to read these price candles, you'll notice up here that you'll see the letter O and a price, and then the letter H and L and C. And that stands for open, high, low, and close. And so each of these candles gives you that information. For a green candle, the opening price is the bottom of the rectangular part, and the close price is the top of the rectangular part. And it's the reverse for red candles. For red candles, the opening price is the top of the rectangular part, and the close price is the bottom. For either candle, whether it's red or green, the top of the candle is the high, the top of the wick of the candle is the high, and the bottom of that wick is the low. So the word wick kind of makes sense considering they're called candles. It's that little line coming out of the rectangular part. And you'll notice that on some of these candles, the wick is tall. On some of them, it's short. On this one, there's like no upper wick at all. And so that just gives you information about the open, high, low, and close of the price for that stock that day. So a hammer candle is a particular type of price bar. And this one right here, this is a hammer candle. This shows you what it could look like. And the general idea, you can see already right off straight away that it kind of looks like a hammer. This particular one, the hammering part is not particularly thick. It's relatively skinny. But this is the general concept, that the lower wick is tall. And then the rectangular is relatively skinny. So it's not going to be a really tall, thick rectangle like this. It's going to be a relatively skinny one. Again, this one is maybe skinnier than you might typically see on a hammer candle, but this one still qualifies. And then the upper wick would be relatively short. And what this tells us is that the price ended up at the end of that period at a similar price point as it was to start the period. And by the way, hammer candles can be green or red. But this one, if you can kind of imagine, it started the day right here, and then somewhere throughout the day, it went up to there and went down to here. We don't know the exact journey it took throughout the day. It could have gone through all sorts of twists and turns. But the bottom line is it kind of meandered up here a little bit at some point, and then it took a really big dive down here, but ended up all the way back up here. So we know that's what happened to the price that day. So then the question is, what does that tell us? So we know that's a hammer candle. We've identified that this stock, Humana, had a hammer candle right there. How can an investor benefit from that? Well, the idea is that if you see a hammer candle, it might indicate that the price could be going up soon. And the idea is that if the price came down and it got rejected with so much force that it shot all the way back up within the same period to where it started from, it's almost like the market psychology or sentiment for that particular stock is to totally reject the price being down here. Like, the price comes down and it's like, no way, it doesn't belong down here. Everybody's jumping in to buy it at that price because this is way below fair market value. And so it's just such an abrupt reversal, a forceful reversal within one period, that could be a sign of positive momentum. And you can see here, of course, that the price did indeed go up over the next few bars and then eventually even higher. So that is one way that a hammer candle could be interpreted, is as a positive kind of a buy signal that the price might be going up. Then the question is, does it actually work? Is that actually true or not? And that's what we love to do here at Stock Market Guides. That's our specialty, is we look at historical data and find out what actually works and what doesn't by looking at what happened in history. And so, for example, with Humana, we'll go back and we'll look at how many hammer candles have taken place with Humana through its history. How many times has there been a hammer candle? And in those cases, how did the stock perform after it had a hammer candle? And then we'll share that with you. And then you can see for yourself what happened historically when these hammer candles have shown up for Humana or whatever the particular stock is. And that way you can make an educated decision about whether you want to consider a trade or an investment for that particular stock or for options for that stock. Because if you have the information about how it performed historically, that could be pivotal in knowing whether or not it's something you want to pursue. So if you have any questions about candles or candlestick charts or about the stock market at all, you can contact us anytime. Our email address is support@stockmarketguides.com.